Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to the BFS Fishing Channel. And in this video, we're going to be doing another Aliexpress sale video. I really don't like doing these every so often, but some of the prices on this sale are going to be pretty good. And so we're going to go ahead and talk about some interesting items. There are going to be some repeats, but then there's also going to be some new items in this video. So I'll promise not to make this too long, and I'll keep it as short as possible. Okay, so the first thing you guys are going to want to do is go ahead and navigate to the Aliexpress app or the desktop webpage as we see here. I just wanted to point out that 100 Palms is not my address, so please don't worry about that. Anyways, go ahead and click here, and you can see here that I've actually already clicked and collected on all of these coupons. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into some of the first items. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to talk about reels that I find pretty interesting. This is the Highbo 2024 Arise Ultra Air. It's a reel that I have been testing, and I need to make a short-term follow-up impressions video on, but it is a magnesium alloy framed reel. It has a little bit larger of a spool than some of the other reels that I'm going to showcase in this sale video. But if you're looking for more of a power BFS reel, then this might be a decent reel for you. Now, it does have some of the shortcomings of the other Arise reels that I kind of haven't really been able to get over. And that's primarily going to be the fact that it is an adjustable rotor system, which means that if you kind of want to get the full range of your brake, I guess, lure weight range casting ability, you're going to have to take off the side plate, adjust the spool, adjust the rotor, and then put the side plate back on. Okay, so that's the first reel that I wanted to share with you guys. It is coming at $159.73. And of course, you'll have the coupon to kind of bring it down a little bit from there. The next reel up is actually a brand new reel to Aliexpress. This has been out on Taobao for a little bit of time, and I still need to get that Taobao video out for you guys. But I'm still kind of vetting the Taobao process because it's a little bit involved. Anyways, so this is a silver feather reel. This is sold by Pure Lure, but it's actually a DMK made reel. The DMK Silver Feather MIIEC, and then this particular one is called the EXA, although they haven't labeled it here. Actually, it's right here, EXA 601XG. What's interesting about this reel is actually it is using the same exact braking system that you're going to find on the Lungzi or Longzi DBC1 reels, meaning that it doesn't require a Bluetooth connection or an app to use. So it's more of a system that's kind of closer to what Shimano uses, but there are two modes that are going to be supplied. There's beginner mode and then advanced or master mode. Kind of an odd choice to go with beginner if you ask me, but I'm really excited to see what the implementation of these two different modes are going to be in this reel, because I do have some gripes that I need to go over for the B50 DBC1 Longzi reel, and I'm hoping that this reel actually doesn't have that. Now, I was actually able to pick this up earlier today for a very, very low price, much lower than this price that you see here. I don't know what happened, why it shot up after that, but I think after all is said and done with the coupons, it's going to come out to $174, which is a little bit high if you ask me. I think Dankung is also selling this reel for $154 or so. I'm not sure if Dankung charges tax. And then the reason why that this particular reel would be so high at $174 is because they are going to be charging you tax on Aliexpress. But it's good to see that this reel is being offered on Aliexpress now. Now, I don't know if they're going to be offering the Silver Feather version with the Bluetooth connection on Aliexpress through Pure Lure, but whenever I get around to making that Taobao video, you'll be able to get your own version of that. And I think Dankung also has the Bluetooth version, but they're asking like $300 for that reel, which is way above what I paid on Taobao for that. So if you're interested in the Bluetooth version, just stay tuned for that video. Okay, next reel is going to be the DMK Silver Feather Elite. Now, it's interesting that there's a family of Silver Feather reels, but the Elite is basically going to be an aluminum bodied silver feather. And you know that I really enjoyed the Silver Feather Air, which is a carbon fiber bodied and silver colored silver feather. I believe that their implementation of the magnetic braking system that they have in the Silver Feather Air, it's going to be the exact same in the Silver Feather Elite. And it's really, really well tuned. I think it's one of the most convenient casting, but also most capable braking systems that's out there. And so it stands to reason that this aluminum bodied version of the reel is also going to be very good because it uses the same exact braking system. So $99, and then obviously you're going to get a coupon. It's kind of strange to me the way that they're doing this or what's available. It looks like there's no right hand right now, but there might be some other options out there. And so please check the description down below because I'll try to include whatever versions they have there. Okay, the next reel is going to be the Silver Feather Air. And the Silver Feather Air is a reel that I have reviewed in the past, that I still own, and that I've really enjoyed. I love the sound of the drag clicker on this one. That's definitely going to be a subjective opinion on that because it is very, very clicky. And some people just don't like the sound of that drag clicker. It's also quite loud as well. Anyways, $84 with a coupon. It's going to be a really good price and very highly recommended. The next reel is also going to be a very new reel, at least to Aliexpress, because this wasn't available on Aliexpress before and only available on Taobao. But this is going to be the Valant Eagle 2 Pro, and I think it's a huge improvement over the original VE2, meaning that, one, I think the weight is actually lighter. The frame is stiff. It does come with 11 plus 1 ball bearings, whereas the previous one only came with something like 6 plus 1 ball bearings. And the drag system on this is way, way better than the previous version, if you ask me. I think that the Star Drag is much easier to use. Kasking and DMK did a really phenomenal job with the Star Drag and also the drag system on this reel, if you ask me. And the reel does feel very premium for a low dollar reel. They're also claiming some sort of new material that was co-developed with DuPont. I think it's just more, fancy marketing term for a very high stiffness nylon reinforced plastic material. Anyways, let's move on from here. If you want to see the video where I review the Kasking Valant Eagle 2 Pro, I'll have those linked in the description down below. The next reel is the Highstar GU99G. Now, I haven't actually gotten my hands on one of these yet, but I should have one soon. And, at $55, it is a lighter weight Aurora Air, basically. There are two versions. There's going to be the GU99, which is this silver one right here, and then also the GU Year of the Dragon Limited Edition. There are differences between the two. The spool thickness is actually thicker on the Year of the Dragon version. So I think it's a reel that's kind of more towards the higher weight range. And then the GU99 is kind of trying to be as light as possible, because you can see here, they're saying 25 cmm. That's a typo. It's 0.25 millimeters thick. So it's a very, very thin versus 0.3 millimeter thickness spool thickness here. So you can see that the weight difference of the spool is going to be 3.2 to 3.5. Now that's most likely measured without the spool bearing on. And so that's why we're seeing those weights. But, from what I understand, this is going to have better quality control. When I get my version in, I will definitely share my thoughts and unboxing experience with you guys. And hopefully it'll feel a lot better than the Aurora Air, even though the Aurora Air does cast very well. I don't know, for some reason, my two copies of the Aurora Air were just, the quality control was just not there. But the GU99 at $55 and then coupon might not be a bad choice if you're looking for a super lightweight reel. All right, next up, we're going to go into rods, and this is the Peerler Sedan or Sedan. I actually have the C592L-M. And this kind of seems like a common theme among CDM rods, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't have enough guides. However, that aside, I want to say that the performance of the blank is really, really good. The rod is very, very sensitive, even though it is a solid tip rod, and it can handle larger fish because it is that L to M rating. Now, I have caught small dinks on it, and they are still quite fun to catch on this rod as well. And this 2.5 to 12 gram lure weight rating, I find to be actually incorrect. For some reason, I think because it's a fast action rod, I'm able to cast those 0.56 gram weightless supercontinent worms really well with this rod, and actually kind of larger reels like the Arise Ultra Air. So for whatever reason, the fast action of this rod just kind of suits my casting style, and I'm able to get those really lightweight sub 1 gram lures out there a pretty good distance. So anyways, if you're looking for a bass rod with a little more backbone, a light action, and something that's more kind of focused on soft plastics fishing, where you're kind of, dragging it on the bottom in a finesse style, this would be a really good choice. And another really good rod would be the Zero, which is got one extra guide at the 632 light casting version of this rod, but it's another really excellent rod. What I like about Pure Lure's rods is that they are using Toray material, and I think that really helps with increasing the sensitivity of these solid tip rods. Typically speaking, solid tip rods are not going to be as sensitive as tubular tip, and that's just, pure physics right there. You've got a solid tip, vibrations have to transmit through more material, but for some reason, I don't know how, they're able to get the sensitivity of these rods to pretty close to what you would feel on something like a Surinoya Elf Ajing rod, which is a tubular design. Unfortunately, the Surinoya Elf Ajing is not readily available right now, and I'm not really sure why. Potentially because they've completely sold out of stock. But the Surinoya Intruder rod is available in the C534 UL size and the C564 UL size at a really, really low price. And so if you're interested in looking for a shorter rod that's more for trout fishing, creek fishing, this rod has more of like a medium fast to fast action, and it can actually keep up with bass that are around the 15-inch mark. So you're probably talking about like 1 to 3 pound bass. Can it handle a 5-pound bass? I would probably say that it could if you're using a lot of drag and letting the fish kind of run, but you're going to lose out a little bit on the backbone side, and you're going to see the rod bending all the way down into the butt if you're catching some larger fish. Okay, the next rod is going to be a John Koo Ajing rod, and this is 2.28 meters, so about 7.5 feet. Now, the reason why I'm including this rod in here is not because it's particularly sensitive, because it actually is not very sensitive at all. I actually have this rod, I've tested it, the bite sensitivity is more in line with what you would find in a regular traditional solid tip rod. So it's not very sensitive. However, the action is really good, and they are using Fuji A guides, which is great to see. And it is a longer rod. So if you need some distance out there and you're not looking to cast anything super, super light, then this might be a really good rod for you. And the price is really, really good as well. So very comfortable grip. The weight of the rod is fairly good. Let me see if I can get you guys an actual weight. 83 grams. So the weight is really good. It is a little bit tip heavy because it is a longer rod, and they don't tell you who actually makes the blank on this one or what company they're using for the carbon fiber. But for $37, it's kind of hard to complain about too much about this rod. So this is another great rod if you're looking for something a little bit longer. Okay, moving right along. I thought that this was an interesting buy. Recently, I've been using and kind of moving away from sling style packs like this and using more bags or fishing tackle bags that are kind of waist related. Now, what's interesting about this one is this is a knockoff. This is a knockoff of a fish pond weighting system. And so what's special about this is that it is a belt. And as you can see here, there is a cutout or a kind of a sleeve, I guess, for your fishing net. But what's cool is that this is actually a quote-unquote rail-based system. And so if I can bring this up, the genuine product actually gives you a bag. And what's cool about it is that you can actually kind of slide this bag to the small of your back and then move it up close to you and slide it around your waist. I'll try to show you guys something in a future video, but you can see how he's slid the bag all the way to the small of his back. The actual waistband or belt itself doesn't move. It's the bag that's sliding on a quote-unquote rail. So I thought that this was kind of cool because you can buy a very, very cheap version of the belt itself. And then if you can find another like small Molly style bag, you might be able to put it onto the rail and kind of slide it around, similar to like what they do with this bag right here. So I'll have to find a Molly bag that kind of works with this rail system and let you guys know. But the waist, I guess they call it the wader system, weighting belt system itself, the genuine article is actually around $50. And so for $13 and then a little bit of shipping and then maybe a coupon, that's a pretty good price, I would say. And the quality is pretty close. The materials are going to be a little bit different. The stitching is not nearly as good. But, you know, for a belt-based system, if you've got a bad back or a bad shoulder, waist belt-based systems are actually pretty good for your back. You can actually add on like drink holders and a fishing rod holder. Whatever can kind of sit on an actual belt will also work with this as well. So I think it's a pretty good deal at $13.29 plus shipping as well. Anyways, moving along, we're going to go into some lures, and Supercontinent came out with this one recently. It is a 5 centimeter or 2-inch long about swing impact knockoff, and they've got some pretty good colors for this. I really liked this dark brown and also this dark brown. What these kind of excel at over the actual swing impacts is that they're a lot more durable and they kind of sink at a very similar rate. But this color right here, color N, and also this color, color E, have been really, really great for me. Okay, so this is going to be a 0.6 gram Cheburashka weight. You're not going to find anyone smaller, and it is tungsten, so that's a really another really great thing because it can keep the size down, and you can configure it in some setup that you see here, where you have the Cheburashka in front with a EWG, and then something like the swing impact knockoff here. Okay, and the last item is going to be the Kingdom Microfly 4-strand braid. I mean, $3.30. If you guys need braid, I would highly recommend this in the 0.6 Go. 0.2 snaps on people for whatever reason, but 0.6 Go is going to be a really good strength to diameter ratio, and then also the cost ratio is going to be really, really high. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video, guys. If you guys like these AliExpress sale videos, please let me know in the comment section down below. I wasn't really going to do this, but I saw some of the, you know, the reel and rod prices, especially like the, you know, the Sedan and Zero are pretty good prices, but this Intruder price is really, really good. And then some of these other, the Silver Feather prices are really good, but this V2 Pro price is going to be pretty awesome with the coupons. So if you're looking for a new reel, you know, or rod or setup or any of these things, please consider using the affiliate links that I've got down in the description below. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate your support. And again, thank you so much, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.